Shady, you are the Eagles' all-time leading rusher. Nobody who has ever been a ball carrier for that organization has carried the ball for more yards than you. So you clearly have a lot invested in the question I'm about to ask you. Should Jalen Hurts sign a Mahomes-type deal in Philly?
I think he should. I think that would be perfect for himself and also the team. When you look at Jalen Hurts, he comes off as like a team guy, right? And I truly believe that. I think that for the Eagles, they always talk about the attributes, the talent, right? But the leadership, I think, is one of his biggest qualities as a player. I think if you lock a guy in like him for 10 years in that franchise, who the city loves him, the community loves him, obviously the franchise loves him, you can surround him with all these players, right? Talented players. I remember my last year with the Bucks. We were talking, Tom Brady was asking me about, the Chiefs and et cetera, and all the players. We're all sitting down in the weight room, like all the skill players. And he was like, I knew Patrick Mahomes was different, not because of his talent, his arm strength, the no-look passes, was more because of when he took the deal of a team-friendly deal of 10 years, right? That let him know that, okay, he wants to win games. I look at Jalen Hurts, he wants to win games. Right? It's not all about, I ought to be the highest paid quarterback. I want to get a nice amount of money, which he's going to get because he's a quarterback. I want to have enough money to pay all my teammates so we can be competitive, so we can win games. When I look at that, that's Jalen Hurts. In college, in Alabama, I feel like he wasn't valued like the way he should have. I don't think they took it for granted. I would say that. Took him for granted. He goes to Oklahoma. He never really had a real home. He gets drafted to the Eagles, second round. At the time, they had Carson Wentz. Even when we drafted him, the fans wasn't really happy. Now that they love him, that he's home, I think he signs that deal. He's in Philadelphia's own. I mean, listen, and after his time's up, they have a big statue, and they won't have that. Number one will be off limits. So sign that big deal, stay home.
It takes two sides to do a deal like this, but if the Eagles are willing to agree to it as well, I mean, if both parties agree on this, I think it would be perfect. And really, what's the big impetus in these deals? Like, what does everybody freak out about? Like, if you're giving a quarterback a lot of money, it's like, oh, can we get there with him? Can he do it? What's going to happen? We already know that about Jalen Hurts. That's why Patrick Mahomes is the only guy that signed a deal like this since the new CBA. Like, since they changed the rules of how all this stuff works, he's the only one. And why? Because he won an MVP and a Super Bowl before he was even eligible to negotiate that stuff. I know Jalen Hurts didn't get over the finish line. He's an all-pro. Hard to do. And he got him to a Super Bowl. He got him within a fourth quarter, really the last couple possessions of the game, of winning a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes are the only active quarterbacks in the NFL that can say that. Aaron Rodgers is on the way out. I mean, how much longer is he going to play? Jalen Hurts, I think he's 24 years old?
He's young. He's a baby.
You can reasonably expect, and we all know, nobody sees the end of their deal anyway. If Patrick Mahomes plays all the way through that thing and it never gets tampered with, I'll be shocked. It's just not the way that football works. So what? You get Jalen Hurts for 6 years, cost control, and what is the biggest, if you're going to come up with a criticism of Jalen Hurts, what is it? Can he do it without all the other studs around him? Well, guess what? If he signs a 10-year deal, you don't have to figure out the answer to that question. Patrick Mahomes' flexibility, every year they can restructure that thing to free up space. The Chiefs just went out and signed an $80 million tackle, and they got Patrick Mahomes on contract. You can do that type of stuff. It would be so smart. I think Jalen is worthy of it. He's young enough that I'm willing to bet on it. If the Eagles are down to do it, I think it would be a great idea.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you, Shady.
I love it. I don't like talking people's money, obviously. Like talking about Lamar Jackson's money or Jalen Hurts' money. I'm not signing these checks. I'm not getting these checks. So it does all feel very uncomfortable. But I love these kinds of deals for certain organizations. I would not sign a 10-year deal with every organization in the NFL because some of these organizations ain't really trying to win. Now, they can say they are, but we see what they do. The Eagles are not that organization. Keep in mind, Jalen Hurts is a second-round pick. He's earned a little over $4.5 million in his career. So he does need to get paid. But, and Shady can talk about this more than anyone, there are certain cities and certain organizations that if you establish yourself as one of those, there's a good, hopefully, 40, 50 years of your life after you finish playing football that you are going to want to earn money, that you're going to want to start businesses, that you're going to want to live and establish yourself in a community.
That's true.
Philadelphia will reward you as a city if you are a Philadelphia Eagle legend. They will do that. Shady, am I right?
You're right.
So if you're going to sign up and essentially give money back to an organization, very openly say, you want to be flexible and make sure that we keep winning and we can bring in other guys and we can have success here. This is an organization that you could do it with, and I believe it would be very smart for the Philadelphia Eagles to do it. He's gotten better every single year. He's clearly a franchise guy. He played well enough to win a Super Bowl. They didn't get it done, but it wasn't like they got wiped off the field.
It was amazing.
So this makes sense for both parties. Again, I never anticipate these types of deals will get done, but if there's a city that would reward you, Jalen Hurts, for doing this, money on the back end for decades after you're done playing, it would be Philadelphia. And there's really only a couple organizations, the Chiefs, Philadelphia, maybe the Giants.
Steelers.
The Steelers. Yeah. Like, there's not, maybe Denver, depending on how things go.
I do. I'm just waiting.
The Cowboys.
I just...
Niners.
I'm not going to try and win, but
Niners,
you know what I mean? Like, the money on the back ends would be worth it.
I actually disagree with all y'all. But I disagree with all y'all for this reason. The reason a player signs a team-friendly deal is so they can do what? They can acquire talent. Yeah. They can acquire talent. Obviously, that's why you do it. But the Eagles had the most talented roster in football, maybe second to the San Francisco 49ers this year. And they came up short. So if I'm doing you a favor, I'm being Jalen Hurts, if I'm doing you a favor, I'm only doing it to win a Super Bowl. Right. That's the only reason I'm doing it. But if we already had one of maybe the most talented roster in Eagles history, and one of the most talented football rosters in the last 5 to 10 years, I would comfortably and confidently say, and we still came up short, then what am I doing you the favor for? Well, selfishly, I have a small window, as we all know, to make money. And if I am perceived to be a run-dominant quarterback, then I have a smaller window in the minds of owners and in the mind of my body. So that's why, Joy, I'm like, only reason you sign a team-friendly deal is to win a Super Bowl. Yeah. But not really. Only reason you sign a team-friendly deal is to have the most talent as possible. They already had generational talent.
Well, so now I'll be the Eagles. Well, if I gave you the second-best roster in football and one of the most dominant defenses that we've seen in a very long time, and you didn't get it done, then maybe I shouldn't be giving you a deal like this.
Correct. Yes.
So what more could the organization have done to put pieces around you to win a Super Bowl? But also, I disagree that you sign these type of deals just to win a Super Bowl.
To acquire talent.
I don't actually agree with that. If you sign this type of deal, you're doing it for longevity, which if you're a running quarterback actually makes more sense because then you're in a long-term deal. And you're signing it to establish a legacy situation. You hope to win a Super Bowl, sure, but there's no guarantee you're going to win a Super Bowl. They had an unbelievable roster, and it didn't happen.
But
go ahead, 2-5.
We going too far right
now. Talk to me.
He's 24 years old.
Yep.
This is his third season. So, I mean, you don't think he's going to have another chance against the Super Bowl?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Can't guarantee it.
What I'm saying is the only reason
they'll be good. Don't get me wrong.
Shady, let me ask.
In the NFC, how many teams you see as good as the Eagles?
Shady, let me ask you a question. What do you value from your career more than the money you acquired?
I was really, really, really good.
But what do you value from the career, right? Like, again, I'm asking you a question that doesn't have the answer in my mind would be your Super Bowl rings, right? Like, you can't buy those. You can't buy those.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure.
The only reason a player would sacrifice money is for a ring. I'm not sacrificing money.
But I'm saying, so, okay, in his third year, right, he's going to get more experience.
Yep.
Matter of fact, this is really his second year really playing. It's going to be technical. This is really his second year really playing as a quarterback. Before the season started, we had so many question marks, including myself.
Yeah.
Could he do it? The whole world. So now that he's getting better with more time, and then you get this contract, you lengthen it out to give enough money to pay other players, better players. So, yeah, if they win a Super Bowl with that type of team, you take a deal like that and get other players, who to say that they won't win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years?
I think
if we had to do a survey to see, do you think the Eagles can win a championship or get to the Super Bowl, not even win a championship, to get to the Super Bowl in the next 3 years? It would be yes. He's 24. Yeah, serious right now? The freaking Niners went to the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship with just anybody at quarterback. But we can't with an all-pro quarterback.
I think it's so hard to do. Like, we haven't seen back-to-back Super Bowls since Patriots 03-04.
Yep.
And then
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
I'm
if you were going to sign up for a situation you felt good about, this would be one of those situations. You can't say that about every single team.
Say Dak Prescott at quarterback.
The only reason I'm not in full agreement is when you're signing up for those situations, Joy, you alluded to it with the Chiefs, you're signing up to be tethered to the coach and Andy Reid. I don't know.
No, I disagree. You're signing up to the coach for sure, but you're also signing up for the ownership. You're signing up for the fan base. You're signing up for the city. Like these type of contracts, which we don't see a lot, are the GM. Like you're signing up for consistency and reputation along with the coach and what they do. You know they're going to go be aggressive. You know they're going to spend money on high-level players. You know this is an organization that cares about winning. You know this is a fan base that's going to embrace you if they know that you're investing in them. It's not just about the coach. These types of deals are so much bigger than that.
Correct, but I don't agree that Philly has shown us consistency in all of that. Because Howie Roseman, we praise him now. Let's not forget, 6 years ago he was in the outhouse, so I was there watching him in the outhouse.
Didn't they just win a Super Bowl?
They did.
Just go back to a Super Bowl.
But 2 years before that,
what were the Chiefs doing before Patrick Mahomes got
If anything,
before Andy Reid
hold on. He changed that whole team around when they got rid of all the good players with Chip Kelly. Don't forget that championship. Come on.
What I'm saying
then
is,
Howie had that. Then they got bad. Hold up. Then they got bad.
Correct.
Then they got good again.
What I'm saying
is, football league.
If anything, that's why I wonder if Howie Roseman wants to tie himself to a quarterback for 10 years. Like nothing about the Eagles over the last decade suggests that they want to have one image over that entire. I mean,
so the
they
Cowboy
adapt
guy
on the fly.
said, look. Let the real organization put players together. Thank you, Cowboys. I just do whatever you do over there in Dallas.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.